Yo, Nihongo Gamer, why don't you tell the our viewers a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do?
Right. I run a YouTube channel called Nihongo Gamer, and I sort of have a Twitch channel, but I've stopped streaming regularly because, well, for all sorts of reasons, I can go into like not like bad reasons, just kind of didn't have time to do the regular Twitch grind. But the it's a YouTube channel about video games and mostly fighting games and arcade sticks. And I guess the main story actually about the whole channel is that it was not meant to be about fighting games. It was meant to be about random Japanese like stuff that I found in video games that are useful for learning Japanese. And yeah, that content obviously wasn't super. I mean, it's like, actually it was popular, but I just got obsessed with fighting games. I think like all of us, I think we know what it's like. You fall down the rabbit hole. You play
Yeah.
one fighting game, and then suddenly you're in the fighting game community, and it's like, wait, the what? I didn't even know that was a thing. And yeah, now the channel's all about fighting games.
I think I
Nice.
remember like early. I was watching your channel like early. I believe when you had like videos on cycling, like where you would
Yeah.
go and like you know
Mhm.
what I mean. And I think it eventually became a channel about fighting games.
Right. You're right. Yeah,
Uh,
I think for the first 5 years or for the first like 5 years or so, it was actually just me opening up like, oh, I got a PS Vita. Okay. Oh, I'm in Hiroshima today. I'm gonna go cycling with my GoPro, and it was pretty much anything happening to me in Japan. Then it
yeah.
all changed.
All
Um,
changed.
I think
Oh.
another channel I can think of that's kind of similar to that, and this one makes definitely makes sense. But like Giuna, you remember Giuna?
Oh yeah. Well, what was his? Okay,
Mm.
so I kind of I want to say I joined the fighting game community. I got my membership card in 2017 or so. So actually,
Mhm.
I didn't really know who Giuna was. I just saw him doing commentary, and I always thought that Giuna was this commentator who just bullies other commentators because it was him and Obama. I didn't know that they were
Yeah.
friends.
Oh
I just
right.
I just thought I just thought that he was just really mean to this guy called Obama every time, and it was him and him and Z.
Yeah.
They would always bully him together, but I didn't realize it was a joke. I didn't realize they were friends, and so I was just
Right.
like, wow, this guy's really mean. But
Man,
obviously,
this guy's
I,
such an asshole.
but then I got into his channel. I was just like, oh man, this guy knows everything. He's played every fighting game. It seems
Yeah.
like he's been there for like since the very beginning.
Yeah. But like
He seems like that.
to kind of like compare your channel to his is sort of like believe he was the same way where he basically did videos where he was just walking around Japan and
Mm-hmm.
like he would go in and like buy mangas or like he would go on a trip somewhere. But now
Yep.
his channel is all like solely fighting game stuff. So
Fighting
kind of the
games
same
are
thing.
just they absorb you, right?
They
Like
really
you
do.
can't
They really do
escape.
absorb you. And the good, I think it's a good thing. Fighting games they're one of those rabbit holes that you happily jump down, but then you don't.
Yeah.
I think you don't realize until later on. It's like, oh, I'm addicted. You don't even realize you're addicted until it's way down the line. It's too late. You can't let go
You're
of it
playing
anymore.
4 different games, you're like, I may have a problem. Yeah.
Well, you got like 50 controllers like hanging on racks on your walls, and you're like, wait, am I an enthusiast? What? Who am
Um, I might have got a CRT in like 2023, so I mean, I might have a problem. You know what I mean? Like, it was free though. I'll say that. I
Really?
yeah, free 99.
Amazing. Is that a 32-inch 28?
I believe it's like 32 inches, but I could be
Looks like
wrong.
32.
Um,
Must have been heavy. I used to carry those things for a living.
were
One
you
of my
Smash
first
player?
jobs. No. Yeah,
That was me.
I started Evo.
Oh
I was
wow.
carrying all those TVs into a truck.
Whoa.
No, so I one of my first jobs was just helping out in a local TV store. And I wasn't very good at selling TVs, and the other guys are really good at selling them. But they're like, "How about you just help deliver the TVs?" So I'd end up like getting on the truck and carrying these TVs up staircases, and they're 50 kilos for like
Yeah.
one TV, and it's all that glass at the front of the TV. And I mean, you must know because you just carried that one.
Mm-hmm.
They're really heavy.
Yeah. It almost didn't fit in my back seat. Um, so I had to really kind of finagle it in there, you know. But yeah, the guy was just giving it away for free, and he's like, "Oh, lightly
Mm.
used, doesn't use it anymore." And sometimes people don't really know what they have. I think it was one of those situations where, like, if you're a retro gamer, right, and you see like, "Oh, a component television for free, a tube component television," oh, I'm on it. And I still play a lot of my old consoles, so it's mainly
Yeah,
how I play video games now.
there's that channel Digital Foundry. I think they're often talking about how if you play on a CRT, then actually you're kind of getting a better resolution than a lot of HD and LCD screens because of just the way that the I don't know what they're called, phosphors or the screen elements, they just kind of phase differently and it's just sharper.
So,
Yeah.
the basic idea is that it's an analog signal. It's not
Right.
meant to be played on a digital television. So,
Mm.
if I were to play, in my personal opinion, if I were to hook, a console up to this, it looks way better than hooking it up to an HD TV. Like, it just looks, I don't know how to explain it other than it looks right. It doesn't look wrong. There's no like weird artifacting going on. Um, but you can use like upscalers. Like I have a RetroTink 5X,
Right,
and
right, right.
to upscale
I
that to
love one of those.
1080, right? Um,
Right, right, right.
even then it still doesn't like knock your socks off as much as like a regular CRT would,
See,
in my
that's what I'm
opinion.
thinking because I've got one of those. I've got an OSSC, and I remember
Mhm.
when I was looking into CRT stuff, I was kind of blown away that it would ever matter that you played in a higher resolution. But it's like if you play these 240p games at 4K, then I
Mhm.
think they've got more freedom to do the filtering and kind of bring back that that analogness of the CRT. So I think
Yeah.
there's a number. I think it's like the number doesn't tell the whole story.
Right. Yeah.
CRTs are amazing.
Yeah. CRT.
CRTs
I
are
mean,
amazing.
Just get one if you can. Get one.
yeah. I have like four now. Not
What?
because. So
I thought this was a new addition. I thought the CRT behind you, just like, oh, I mean, I'm getting into CRTs now. I didn't know. Now you've got four. See, it's just like arcade sticks.
mm-hmm.
It's a
That's what it
problem.
is.
It's a habit.
Yeah, but you
The,
practically stole that one. It was free.
well, actually, the thing is that they're all free. That's the thing. Is like
Oh my.
what, because people will give them away. It's sort of one of those
Right.
situations where it's like, oh, okay, well, if I don't get it, somebody else will.
Yeah, or it
And
might just go to the tip and just get thrown away, which would be
Yeah.
yeah,
bad for the environment. You're
yep,
doing the world a service.
yeah, I'm just
True.
hoarding all the trash in my house. That's really what it is. I found
Practically stealing. Legal stealth stealing.
Legal stealth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
legal
yeah.
stealth. Legal
Legal
stealing.
stealth.
these two TVs over here, the ones behind, you can't really see them, but they're right next to it. They're actually like high definition analog televisions.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember
Oh.
at the very end of the CRT era, because that was when I was kind
Mhm.
of selling them, and it was like I remember the Panasonic, no, Sony Trinitron, and
Yeah.
I think, or maybe it was Panasonic. I can't remember which one, but it was like flat screen was really confusing because back then flat screen meant the whole TV was flat, but it
Mhm.
also meant that CRTs like they didn't have a bowed screen at the front. And people were just like, "I want a flat screen." I was like, "Oh yeah, I've got a really nice CRT. How would you like this one?" They're like, "No, no, 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 no. I mean like one of those ones you hang on the wall."
um
Oh, the lighter ones. Yeah, no, I'll get that.
Yeah,
these
people
are
used to call them both flat screen.
so these aren't like the Trinitrons. These are actually what are they called? They're PVMs, professional video monitors.
Right, I heard that. Yeah.
So what they are is they
Oh.
actually it would be like if you worked at a television company, like what they use for monitors there. At least if they were running like an analog signal then. But they're kind of out of date now, but fantastic for, you know, hooking your GameCube up to it. It looks
What's the
amazing.
refresh rate on those bad boys?
I actually don't know. I don't know what the refresh rate is. I'm assuming it's at least 60 FPS, but they're able to do you can hook up like there's a slot in the back, right, where you can switch it out. You could do RGB, you could do component, you can do composite, SCART. Basically you can just slot it in, Be like, oh, I have a SCART cable for my N64. Slot in the SCART cable, hook up, plug it in, and you're good to go.
It's
And it
so
looks
different to the
fantastic.
modern era where we need a dongle for everything.
Oh God, tell me about it.
Everything must become USB, and in
Everything.
the process, and everything becomes laggy.
Yeah. So what this actually does is it takes the analog signal, makes it high definition without upscalers or anything like that. It's just sort of all like natural environment type thing. That's kind of how I look at it. Analog signal, natural environment, analog TV. Looks great. Digital, so on and so forth.
Amazing. It sounds like for the now, it sounds like a really great cheap hobby, but it sounds like it's probably gonna eventually get kind of expensive.
Only if you pay scalper prices, yeah.
Yeah. As
Which,
these things go up in as they go up in value because they're rare and hard to find, eventually you'll be like, when I got into this hobby, it was really cheap. Now I'm spending like thousands and thousands more than I would for a normal HD TV.
I think you'll find that anybody who has is into retro gaming and has a CRT, they don't just have one. I will say that. I know of people that have an entire room of just full of CRTs.
Oh my God.
They have them all linked together. They turn them all on. They
Like
play
the TV studios.
Yeah,
Got all the
exactly.
TVs.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
But they have no reason to do that.
Well, this is the natural birth of a YouTube channel. This is how all YouTube channels begin. I think you buy one thing and you're like, I love this thing. And then you have 2, and then you have 4, and then you have 10, and then you're making videos about them, and then you're making reviews about them, and then people are interviewing you because you make reviews about these TVs, and you're like, wait, am I a YouTuber? Somewhere along
Oh
the
no,
line.
stop. Go back.
Yeah, somewhere along the line you became an influencer.
And that's how you got here, huh?
And that's how I got here. That's the story of how I got here.
Wow. So I think we kind of I don't know how far we got off the rails on that one. It feels like we went way off the rails. But
It's
Yeah,
still
but
relevant
that's,
though.
That's the
Still
fun of a podcast. You just
Right.
gotta go.